In a world filled with pressure and challenges, ever wonder how you can keep your cool and stay strong? How can you weather those inevitable storms that life throws your way? In this episode, we're diving into a powerful Stoic philosophy that will change the way you see the world around you. We're going deep into the teachings of the great philosopher Epictetus, who taught us that true strength lies in controlling our reactions, not in controlling external events. We'll discover how we can become masters of our own fate, overcoming obstacles with resilience and calm, even when it feels like the whole world is falling apart. We'll give you practical strategies to apply this philosophy to your everyday life, whether it's at work, in relationships, or facing any challenge that comes your way. Get ready to unlock the power within you, the power to act as if nothing can disturb you. This episode is going to be a transformative journey, one that will change the way you think and act in the world. So buckle up, grab your favorite beverage, and get ready to dive into the world of Stoic wisdom. And hey, if you find this episode helpful, don't forget to hit that like button and share it with your friends and family. Let's spread the Stoic vibes. Lesson 1. The power of the pause. Listen twice as much as you speak. All right, folks, let's kick things off with a Stoic gem that's as relevant today as it was back in ancient Greece. Epictetus, one of the big names in Stoicism, once said something that might make you rethink those chatty tendencies. We have 2 ears and 1 mouth so that we can listen twice as much as we speak. Now, at first glance, this might seem like simple common sense, but trust me, there's a whole lot of wisdom packed into this little nugget. In our fast-paced, self-promoting world, it's easy to get caught up in the rush to be heard. We're constantly broadcasting our thoughts, opinions, and experiences on social media, in meetings, and even in casual conversations. But what if we hit the pause button more often? What if we shifted our focus from talking to truly listening? The wisdom of others. Epictetus wasn't just advocating for good manners here. He was pointing to a fundamental truth about human growth and learning. We learn by listening, by absorbing the wisdom and experiences of others. Every person we encounter has something to teach us, whether it's a new perspective, a valuable skill, or a cautionary tale. Think about it. Some of the most profound moments of learning in your life probably came from listening to someone else. Maybe it was a grandparent sharing stories from their youth, a teacher explaining a complex concept, or a friend offering words of comfort during a tough time. These moments stick with us because they offer a glimpse into a world beyond our own limited experience. The art of deep listening. Now, I'm not just talking about hearing words, I'm talking about deep listening, the kind of listening that involves full presence and attention. It's about setting aside your own agenda, judgments and distractions, and truly opening yourself up to the other person's message. This can be tough in today's world, where our attention is constantly being pulled in a million different directions. But it's a skill worth cultivating. When you truly listen to someone, you not only gain valuable insights, but you also build trust and connection. You show them that their words matter and that you value their perspective. The ego trap. So why do we struggle with listening? Well, a big part of it has to do with our egos. We love the sound of our own voices. We want to be seen as knowledgeable, witty, and interesting. But constantly talking can actually have the opposite effect. It can make us seem self-centered and oblivious to the needs and perspectives of others. As the contemporary philosopher Ryan Holiday puts it, ego is the enemy. It's the voice in our heads that tells us we're always right, that our ideas are the best, and that we don't need to listen to anyone else. But this kind of thinking can be a major roadblock to growth and connection. Practical tips for modern life. So, how can we apply Epictetus's wisdom in our modern lives? Here are a few practical tips. Put the phone down. When you're in a conversation, resist the urge to check your phone or multitask. Give the other person your undivided attention. Practice active listening. Make eye contact, nod your head, and ask clarifying questions. Show the speaker that you're engaged and interested. Seek out diverse perspectives. Don't just surround yourself with people who agree with you. Engage in conversations with people from different backgrounds and viewpoints. Embrace silence. Don't be afraid of pauses in conversation. They can be opportunities for reflection and deeper understanding. Reflect on your own listening habits. Pay attention to how often you interrupt, offer unsolicited advice, or change the subject. Remember, listening is not just about being polite. It's about cultivating wisdom, building relationships, and living a more fulfilling life. So, the next time you find yourself in a conversation, take a deep breath, quiet your ego, and truly listen. You might be surprised at what you learn. Lesson 2. Rolling with the punches. Expect the worst. Embrace the fall. All right, let's dive deeper into another Stoic principle that might sound a bit counterintuitive at first. Expecting the worst. Now, before you start thinking this is all about doom and gloom, let me assure you, it's quite the opposite. It's about developing a mindset that allows you to navigate life's inevitable challenges with resilience and grace. The Stoic reality check. The Stoics were realists. They understood that life is full of ups and downs, twists and turns. As Seneca, another Stoic heavyweight, put it, fate leads the willing and drags along the reluctant. In other words, we can either go with the flow of life, or we can resist it and get dragged along kicking and screaming. Now, expecting the worst doesn't mean living in a constant state of fear or anxiety. It simply means acknowledging that things won't always go according to plan. Your car might break down, you might lose your job, a relationship might end unexpectedly. These things happen. It's part of the human experience. The upside of down. But here's the twist. The Stoics saw adversity not as a curse, but as an opportunity for growth. They believed that by mentally preparing for setbacks, we can actually reduce their sting and even use them to our advantage. Think about it this way. If you're constantly expecting everything to go perfectly, any little hiccup can throw you off balance. But if you've already factored in the possibility of setbacks, you'll be better equipped to handle them when they arise. You'll be able to adapt, adjust, and keep moving forward. Failure as a stepping stone. This Stoic principle also applies to the concept of failure. In our success-driven culture, failure is often seen as a shameful thing, something to be avoided at all costs. But the Stoics saw it differently. They understood that failure is an inevitable part of the learning process. As Epictetus said, if you want to improve, be content to be thought foolish and stupid. In other words, don't be afraid to take risks, to step outside your comfort zone, even if it means stumbling along the way. Every mistake, every setback is an opportunity to learn and grow. Modern-day resilience. So, how can we apply this Stoic wisdom in our modern lives? Here are a few ideas. Pre-mortem planning. Before embarking on a new project or venture, take some time to imagine all the things that could go wrong. This will help you identify potential pitfalls and develop contingency plans. Reframe failure. Instead of seeing failure as a personal defeat, view it as a valuable learning experience. Ask yourself, what can I learn from this? How can I do better next time? Embrace the unexpected. Don't get too attached to a specific outcome. Be open to the possibility that things might unfold in a different way than you anticipated. Cultivate a growth mindset. See challenges as opportunities to stretch yourself and develop new skills. Remember, the only way to truly fail is to give up. Find humor in the absurd. Sometimes, the best way to deal with adversity is to laugh at it. As the modern Stoic William Irvine suggests, develop a sense of humor about the absurdity of life. Remember, life is unpredictable. Things will go wrong. But by expecting the worst and embracing the possibility of failure, we can develop a resilience that allows us to weather any storm. We can learn from our mistakes, grow from our challenges, and ultimately emerge stronger and wiser. So, go out there, take risks, and don't be afraid to fall. Because in the words of the Stoic philosopher Seneca, what is the point of living if you aren't willing to fall down a few times? Lesson 3. The Inner Citadel, Mastering Your Reactions, Mastering Your Fate. All right, let's get into the thick of it with another Stoic principle that's all about taking charge, controlling your reactions. Now, this isn't about suppressing your emotions or pretending you're a robot. It's about recognizing that you have the power to choose how you respond to the world around you. The Epictetus equation. Epictetus, that wise old Stoic, laid it out pretty clearly. It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. Let that sink in for a moment. It's a simple statement, but it packs a powerful punch. It's basically saying that you're not a puppet at the mercy of external events. You're the one holding the strings. Think about it. We all face challenges, setbacks, and annoyances in life. It's inevitable. But what separates those who thrive from those who crumble is their ability to manage their reactions. It's about cultivating that inner strength, that Stoic citadel that allows you to remain calm and collected even when the world around you is in chaos. The freedom of choice. Now, I know what you might be thinking. Easier said than done, right? And, yeah, I get it. It's not always easy to keep your cool when your boss is breathing down your neck, your flight gets cancelled, or your favorite team loses the big game. But here's the thing, you always have a choice. You can choose to let those external events control you, to let them dictate your mood and your actions. Or you can choose to take a step back, assess the situation, and respond in a way that aligns with your values and goals. The emotional hijack. So, why do we sometimes react impulsively without thinking? Well, it has a lot to do with our brains. When we encounter a stressful or triggering situation, our amygdala, the part of the brain responsible for our fight or flight response, can go into overdrive. This can lead to what psychologists call an emotional hijacking, where our emotions take the wheel and our rational mind gets tossed in the back seat. It's in those moments that we're most likely to say or do things we regret. We might lash out at a loved one, make a rash decision, or spiral into a pit of negativity. But the Stoics teach us that we can train our minds to resist these emotional hijacks. We can learn to create a space between the stimulus and our response, a space where we can choose how we want to react. Modern-day triggers. In today's world, we're bombarded with triggers that can set off our emotional alarms. Social media feeds filled with negativity, 24/7 news cycles, traffic jams, demanding work schedules. It's enough to make anyone feel overwhelmed and reactive. But here's where the Stoic philosophy can be a lifesaver. It reminds us that we don't have to be slaves to our emotions. We can cultivate the inner strength to navigate these challenges with grace and composure. Practical strategies for the modern Stoic. So, how do we do it? How do we master our reactions and reclaim control of our lives? Here are a few strategies inspired by the Stoics. Practice mindfulness. Pay attention to your thoughts and emotions without judgment. Notice when you're starting to feel triggered and take a few deep breaths before reacting. Reframe your perspective. Instead of seeing challenges as threats, see them as opportunities for growth. Ask yourself, what can I learn from this situation? Choose your response. Remember, you always have a choice in how you respond. Ask yourself, what is the most constructive and helpful way to react in this moment? Focus on what you can control. Don't waste energy worrying about things you can't control, like the weather or the opinions of others. Focus on what you can control, like your own thoughts and actions. Seek wisdom from others. Read the works of Stoic philosophers, listen to podcasts, or join a Stoic community. Learn from those who have walked this path before you. The ripple effect. Mastering your reactions isn't just about personal peace of mind. It also has a ripple effect on the world around you. When you're able to remain calm and centered in the face of challenges, you inspire others to do the same. You create a more positive and harmonious environment for everyone. As Marcus Aurelius, the Stoic emperor, wrote in his Meditations, "The best revenge is not to be like your enemy. When someone tries to provoke you or push your buttons, the most powerful response is to remain unruffled. You show them that their negativity has no power over you. Remember, you are the master of your fate. You have the power to choose how you react to the world around you. So, cultivate that inner citadel, embrace the Stoic mindset, and watch as you navigate life's challenges with newfound resilience and grace." The Stoic's secret weapon. Diversifying your goals isn't just about increasing your chances of success. It's also about cultivating a sense of inner peace and contentment. When you have multiple sources of fulfillment, you're less likely to be devastated by setbacks in one area of your life. As the modern Stoic philosopher Massimo Pigliucci puts it, the Stoic way is to have many small fires burning, so that if one goes out, you still have others to keep you warm. This doesn't mean spreading yourself too thin or chasing after every shiny object that catches your eye. It means having a balanced and diversified approach to life, one that allows you to weather the storms and enjoy the sunshine. So, go out there and dream big. Set those audacious goals, pursue those wild passions. But remember to hedge your bets, to diversify your aspirations. Because in the words of Seneca, the greatest remedy for anger is delay, and by diversifying your goals, you're essentially delaying the possibility of complete disappointment. You're creating a life filled with options, opportunities, and endless possibilities. Lesson 4. Hedge your bets. The Stoic art of diversification. All right, folks. Let's talk about something that's close to all of our hearts. Goals and dreams. We all have them, those aspirations that light a fire within us and give us a sense of purpose. But here's the thing. Life is unpredictable. It's full of curveballs and unexpected detours. And that's where the Stoic principle of diversifying your goals comes into play. Don't put all your eggs in one basket. Now you've probably heard the old saying, don't put all your eggs in one basket. Well, the Stoics were way ahead of the game on this one. They understood that pinning all your hopes and dreams on a single goal is a recipe for disappointment. Imagine this. You've poured your heart and soul into pursuing a specific career path, only to find the door slammed in your face. Or maybe you've invested all your emotional energy into a relationship, only to have it crumble unexpectedly. These experiences can be devastating, leaving you feeling lost and disillusioned. But what if you had other goals, other dreams to fall back on? What if you had multiple paths to explore, multiple sources of fulfillment? That's the beauty of diversification. It's about creating a safety net for your aspirations, so that if one path gets blocked, you have others to pursue. The Stoic approach to ambition. The Stoics weren't against ambition. In fact, they believed in striving for excellence and pursuing meaningful goals, but they also recognized the importance of flexibility and adaptability. As Epictetus wisely said, "Don't demand that things happen as you wish, but wish that they happen as they do happen, and you will go on well." This doesn't mean giving up on your dreams. It means accepting that the path to achieving them might not be straightforward. It might involve detours, setbacks, and even complete changes of direction. The modern-day multi-hyphenate. In today's world, the idea of diversifying your goals is more relevant than ever. We live in an era of rapid change and uncertainty. Job markets are volatile, industries are disrupted overnight, and the skills that are in demand today might be obsolete tomorrow. That's why it's so important to cultivate a diverse set of skills and interests. Don't just focus on one career path or one passion project. Explore different avenues, learn new things, and build a portfolio of talents. This will make you more adaptable and resilient in the face of change. Think about the modern-day multi-hyphenates. Those individuals who juggle multiple careers, passions, and side hustles. They're writers/entrepreneurs, artists/coders, musicians/activists. They're not afraid to experiment, to take risks, and to embrace the unknown. And they're often the ones who thrive in today's ever-evolving landscape. Practical tips for diversifying your goals. So, how can you put this Stoic principle into practice? Here are a few tips. Brainstorm a variety of goals. Don't limit yourself to one or two big dreams. Make a list of all the things you'd like to achieve, both personally and professionally. Identify your core values. What's truly important to you? What kind of impact do you want to make on the world? Use your values as a compass to guide your goal setting. Break down your goals into smaller steps. Big goals can feel overwhelming. Break them down into smaller, more manageable tasks. This will make them seem less daunting and more achievable. Experiment and explore. Don't be afraid to try new things and step outside your comfort zone. You might discover hidden talents and passions you never knew you had. Embrace the journey. Remember, the process of pursuing your goals is just as important as the end result. Enjoy the learning, the growth, and the sense of purpose that comes with striving for something meaningful. The Stoic's secret weapon. Diversifying your goals isn't just about increasing your chances of success. It's also about cultivating a sense of inner peace and contentment. When you have multiple sources of fulfillment, you're less likely to be devastated by setbacks in one area of your life. As the modern Stoic philosopher Massimo Pigliucci puts it, the Stoic way is to have many small fires burning, so that if one goes out, you still have others to keep you warm. This doesn't mean spreading yourself too thin or chasing after every shiny object that catches your eye. It means having a balanced and diversified approach to life, one that allows you to weather the storms and enjoy the sunshine. So, go out there and dream big. Set those audacious goals, pursue those wild passions, but remember to hedge your bets, to diversify your aspirations. Because in the words of Seneca, the greatest remedy for anger is delay. And by diversifying your goals, you're essentially delaying the possibility of complete disappointment. You're creating a life filled with options, opportunities, and endless possibilities. Lesson 5. The Golden Handcuffs. Navigating the treacherous waters of wealth and materialism. All right, folks, let's talk about something that's both alluring and dangerous. Wealth and materialism. Now, don't get me wrong, there's nothing inherently wrong with having nice things or enjoying the comforts of a financially secure life. But the Stoics warn us against letting these things become the sole focus of our existence. The illusion of happiness. In our consumer-driven society, we're constantly bombarded with messages that equate happiness with material possessions. We're told that the latest gadget, the bigger house, the fancier car will bring us lasting joy and fulfillment. But the Stoics saw through this illusion. Seneca, the Stoic philosopher and statesman, famously said, "Wealth is the slave of the wise man and the master of the fool." In other words, we should be in control of our possessions, not the other way around. When we become obsessed with acquiring more and more stuff, we risk losing sight of what truly matters. The burden of excess. Think about it. How much time and energy do we spend chasing after the next big thing? How much stress and anxiety do we experience trying to keep up with the Joneses? The Stoics would argue that this pursuit of material excess can actually lead to a diminished quality of life. Instead of focusing on inner peace and contentment, we become preoccupied with external validation and fleeting pleasures. We start to measure our self-worth by the size of our bank accounts or the number of likes on our social media posts. And that's a dangerous game to play. The true source of wealth. So, what did the Stoics consider to be true wealth? Well, it wasn't about gold coins or fancy chariots. It was about cultivating a rich inner life, one filled with wisdom, virtue, and strong relationships. Epictetus put it this way: wealth consists not in having great possessions, but in having few wants. In other words, true wealth lies in contentment, in appreciating what you have rather than constantly craving more. It's about finding joy in the simple things, like a good conversation, a beautiful sunset, or a quiet moment of reflection. Modern-day materialism. Now you might be thinking, this all sounds great, but we live in a materialistic world. It's hard to escape the constant pressure to consume. And you're absolutely right. We're surrounded by advertisements, social media influencers, and a culture that glorifies wealth and status. But that's precisely why the Stoic philosophy is so relevant today. It offers us a way to navigate this materialistic landscape without getting swept away by the current. It reminds us that our value doesn't lie in our possessions, but in our character, our actions, and our contributions to the world. Practical tips for navigating materialism. So, how can we apply these Stoic principles in our daily lives? Here are a few tips. Practice gratitude. Take time each day to appreciate the good things in your life, both big and small. This will help you shift your focus from what you lack to what you have. Simplify your life. Declutter your home, your schedule, and your mind. Focus on what truly matters and let go of the rest. Be mindful of your spending. Before making a purchase, ask yourself if you truly need it or if you're just trying to fill a void. Invest in experiences, not just things. Studies have shown that experiences bring more lasting happiness than material possessions. So, prioritize travel, learning, and spending time with loved ones. Give back to others. Generosity is a powerful antidote to materialism. Find ways to contribute to your community and make a positive impact on the world. The Stoic Challenge. Living a Stoic life in a materialistic world is not easy. It requires constant vigilance and self-awareness, but it's a challenge worth taking on. By prioritizing inner wealth over external possessions, we can cultivate a sense of peace, contentment, and true freedom. As Seneca reminds us, it is not the man who has too little, but the man who craves more. That is poor. So, let's break free from the golden handcuffs of materialism and embrace the true riches that life has to offer. Let's focus on what we can control, cultivate gratitude, and live in alignment with our values. Because in the end, it's not what we own, but who we are that truly matters. Lesson 6. The real treasure: friendships, values, and the Stoic pursuit of true wealth. All right, folks, let's shift gears a bit and talk about something that's truly priceless: friendship and human values. In a world that often seems obsessed with money, status, and material possessions, the Stoics remind us that true wealth lies in something far more enduring and meaningful. The bank of human connection. Epictetus, that wise old Stoic, once said, "True wealth is genuine friends, as they will be there to support us if one day our material fortune dissipates." Now, that's a statement that cuts through the noise of our consumerist culture. It's a reminder that the bonds we forge with others, the shared experiences, the laughter, the tears, the support, these are the things that truly enrich our lives. Think about it. When you're facing a tough time, who do you turn to? When you're celebrating a victory, who do you share it with? It's not your fancy car or your designer handbag. It's your friends, your family, your loved ones, those people who know you, accept you, and care about you for who you are, not what you own. The currency of character. The Stoics believed that true wealth lies not in what you have, but in who you are. It's about cultivating virtues like wisdom, courage, justice, and temperance. It's about living a life of integrity, purpose, and service to others. As Marcus Aurelius, the Stoic emperor, wrote in his Meditations, "Waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be one." This is a powerful call to action. It's a reminder that our character, our actions, and our values are the true measure of our worth, not the size of our bank accounts or the number of followers we have on social media. The pitfalls of the rat race. Now, I'm not saying that money is evil or that ambition is a bad thing, but the Stoics warn us against getting caught up in the relentless pursuit of wealth and status at the expense of our relationships and our values. Think about the classic image of the corporate ladder climber, sacrificing their personal life, their health, and their happiness in the pursuit of the corner office. Or the social media influencer, constantly chasing likes and validation while neglecting their real-life connections. These are examples of people who've fallen into the trap of prioritizing external success over inner fulfillment. Modern-day connections. In today's hyper-connected world, it's easy to feel isolated and disconnected. We spend hours scrolling through social media feeds, comparing ourselves to others, and feeling like we're missing out. But the Stoics remind us that true connection comes from genuine human interaction, from sharing experiences, and from supporting each other through life's ups and downs. It's about putting down the phone, looking up from the screen, and engaging with the people around us. It's about having deep conversations, offering a helping hand, and being present in the moment. These are the things that nourish our souls and create lasting bonds. Investing in the right portfolio. So how can we apply this Stoic wisdom in our modern lives? Here are a few tips. Prioritize relationships. Make time for the people who matter most to you. Cultivate deep and meaningful connections. Practice empathy and compassion. Put yourself in other people's shoes. Seek to understand their perspectives and feelings. Live with integrity. Be true to your values, even when it's difficult. Let your actions reflect your character. Focus on contribution. Find ways to give back to your community and make a positive impact on the world. Cultivate inner peace. Practice mindfulness, meditation, or other techniques that help you connect with your inner self and find contentment. Remember, true wealth is not about accumulating material possessions. It's about building a life filled with love, meaning, and purpose. It's about investing in the things that truly matter: our relationships, our values, and our contributions to the world. So, let's shift our focus from the fleeting pleasures of wealth and materialism to the enduring riches of friendship and human connection. Let's cultivate a Stoic mindset that values character over currency, and let's build a life that's truly rich in every sense of the word. Lesson 7. The Zen of Less. Embracing simplicity and finding calm in a chaotic world. All right, folks, let's take a breather from the hustle and bustle of modern life and talk about something that's refreshingly simple: the Stoic embrace of simplicity. Now, before you roll your eyes and think this is all about living in a cave and eating berries, let me assure you, it's not. It's about finding freedom and tranquility in a world that's constantly bombarding us with noise, distractions, and the pressure to consume. The clutter conundrum. Let's face it, we live in a world that's overflowing with stuff. Our homes are crammed with gadgets, clothes, and knickknacks we barely use. Our schedules are packed with meetings, appointments, and social obligations. And our minds are cluttered with worries, anxieties, and endless to-do lists. It's no wonder so many of us feel stressed, overwhelmed, and perpetually dissatisfied. We're constantly chasing after the next big thing, the latest trend, the newest upgrade. But the Stoics would argue that this relentless pursuit of more is actually a recipe for unhappiness. The simple life, the good life. The Stoics believed that true happiness lies not in accumulating possessions, but in cultivating a simple and intentional life. As Seneca put it, "It is not the man who has too little, but the man who craves more, that is poor." Think about it. When you have less stuff, you have less to worry about. You have more time and energy to focus on what truly matters: your relationships, your passions, your personal growth. You can create space for quiet contemplation, for deep connection, and for the simple pleasures of life. The modern-day minimalist movement. Now, the Stoic embrace of simplicity might sound a bit radical in today's consumerist culture, but it's actually gaining traction in the form of the modern-day minimalist movement. People are decluttering their homes, downsizing their possessions, and embracing a more intentional way of living. They're realizing that less is often more, and that true freedom comes from letting go of the excess baggage that's weighing them down. The inner sanctuary. But the Stoic concept of simplicity goes beyond just physical possessions. It's also about cultivating a calm and uncluttered mind. In today's world, we're constantly bombarded with information, notifications, and distractions. It's like our brains are on a never-ending treadmill, constantly processing and reacting. The Stoics teach us to create an inner sanctuary, a space of quietude and stillness where we can escape the noise and chaos of the external world. This can be achieved through practices like meditation, mindfulness, and spending time in nature. It's about training our minds to focus on the present moment, to let go of worries about the past or future, and to simply be. Practical tips for embracing simplicity. So, how can we incorporate this Stoic wisdom into our modern lives? Here are a few practical tips. Declutter your space. Start by getting rid of things you don't need or use. Donate them, sell them, or simply throw them away. A clean and uncluttered space can lead to a clean and uncluttered mind. Simplify your schedule. Learn to say no to commitments that don't align with your values or priorities. Create space in your calendar for downtime, reflection, and creative pursuits. Practice digital minimalism. Limit your time on social media and other digital distractions. Be intentional about how you use technology. Cultivate mindfulness. Pay attention to the present moment without judgment. Notice the sights, sounds, and sensations around you. Find joy in the simple things. Appreciate the beauty of nature, the warmth of a good conversation, the taste of a delicious meal. The freedom of enough. Embracing simplicity is not about deprivation or self-denial. It's about recognizing that we already have enough. It's about finding contentment in the present moment, rather than constantly chasing after something more. As the contemporary Stoic philosopher William Irvine puts it, the goal of Stoicism is to live a happy life, and the Stoics believed that the best way to do this was to live a simple life. So, let's take a page from the Stoics' book and embrace the beauty of simplicity. Let's declutter our lives, cultivate inner peace, and find true freedom in the art of living with less. Lesson 8. The memento mori, living fully in the face of mortality. All right, folks, let's tackle a topic that might seem a bit heavy, but trust me, it's one that can profoundly change your perspective on life. Death. Now, before you start thinking this is all about doom and gloom, let me assure you, it's quite the opposite. The Stoics believed that contemplating our mortality can actually lead to a more vibrant and fulfilling life. The inevitable truth. Let's face it, death is the one certainty we all share. No matter how rich, powerful, or successful we become, we can't escape the ultimate reality that our time on this earth is finite. As Marcus Aurelius, the Stoic emperor and philosopher, put it, you could leave life right now. Let that determine what you do and say and think. Now, this isn't meant to be morbid or depressing. It's a call to wake up and realize the preciousness of each moment. It's a reminder that we don't have an infinite amount of time to waste on trivial pursuits, petty grievances, or unfulfilling relationships. The memento mori. The Stoics had a practice called memento mori, which translates to remember that you will die. They would often keep objects or symbols around them to serve as a reminder of their mortality. This wasn't meant to be a morbid obsession, but rather a way to stay grounded and focused on what truly matters. Think about it this way. If you knew you only had a limited time left, how would you spend your days? Would you waste them on mindless distractions, or would you prioritize the things that bring you joy, meaning, and connection? Would you hold on to grudges and regrets, or would you seek forgiveness and reconciliation? The gift of perspective. Contemplating our mortality can give us a powerful sense of perspective. It can help us distinguish between what's truly important and what's just noise. It can motivate us to let go of petty concerns and focus on living a life of purpose and intention. As the modern Stoic author Ryan Holiday writes in his book, "The obstacle is the way." The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way. In other words, the very awareness of our mortality can become a catalyst for living a more fulfilling life. Living fully in the present. The Stoics weren't advocating for a reckless or hedonistic lifestyle. They weren't saying, "YOLO, so let's party like there's no tomorrow." Instead, they were encouraging us to live fully in the present moment, to savor each experience, and to make the most of the time we have. This means being present in our relationships, pursuing our passions with gusto, and appreciating the simple pleasures of life. It means letting go of regrets about the past and anxieties about the future, and focusing on what we can control in the here and now. Practical tips for embracing mortality. So, how can we integrate this Stoic wisdom into our modern lives? Here are a few tips. Practice mindfulness. Pay attention to the present moment, to the sights, sounds, and sensations around you. Savor each experience as if it were your last. Set priorities. Identify what truly matters to you and make those things a priority in your life. Don't let the urgent crowd out the important. Let go of grudges and regrets. Forgive yourself and others. Don't let past mistakes or hurts hold you back from living fully in the present. Pursue your passions. Don't wait for the perfect time to start that project, take that trip, or pursue that dream. Life is too short to postpone your happiness. Express gratitude. Take time each day to appreciate the good things in your life, both big and small. Gratitude is a powerful antidote to fear and anxiety. The final word. Remembering death is not about dwelling on the macabre. It's about embracing the fullness of life. It's about recognizing that our time on this earth is precious and fleeting, and that we have the power to make it meaningful. So let's live each day with intention, with gratitude, and with a deep appreciation for the gift of life. Let's embrace the Stoic philosophy of memento mori and use it as a catalyst for living a life that's truly worth living. Lesson 9. Turning stumbles into stepping stones, the Stoic art of learning from mistakes. All right, folks, let's talk about something we all experience but often dread: mistakes. Yep, those moments when we mess up, fall short, or simply don't get it right. In our achievement-oriented society, mistakes can feel like failures, like blemishes on our otherwise perfect records. But the Stoics offer a refreshingly different perspective. They see mistakes not as setbacks, but as opportunities for growth and learning. The wisdom in the oops, Epictetus, that wise old Stoic, once said, "Every difficulty in life presents us with an opportunity to turn inward and invoke our own submerged inner resources. The trials we endure can and should introduce us to our strengths." Now, that's a pretty empowering way to look at those oops moments, isn't it? Think about it. Some of the most valuable lessons you've learned in life probably came from making mistakes. Maybe you bombed a presentation and learned the importance of preparation. Or maybe you had a falling out with a friend and realized the value of clear communication. These experiences, as uncomfortable as they may be in the moment, can shape us into stronger, wiser, and more compassionate individuals. The growth mindset. The Stoic approach to mistakes aligns with what modern psychologists call a growth mindset. It's the belief that our abilities and intelligence are not fixed, but can be developed through effort, learning, and yes, even mistakes. People with a growth mindset see challenges as opportunities to stretch themselves and expand their horizons. They're not afraid to try new things, even if it means stumbling along the way. They understand that failure is not the opposite of success, but a stepping stone on the path to it. The blame game. Now, it's easy to fall into the trap of blaming others or external circumstances when things go wrong. But the Stoics would argue that this is a disempowering mindset. It puts us at the mercy of forces outside our control and robs us of the opportunity to learn and grow. As Marcus Aurelius wrote in his Meditations, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." This is a powerful reminder that we are responsible for our own reactions, our own choices, and ultimately, our own growth. Turning lemons into lemonade. So, how can we apply this Stoic wisdom in our modern lives? How can we turn those inevitable mistakes into opportunities for growth? Here are a few practical tips. Own your mistakes. Don't try to sweep them under the rug or blame others. Acknowledge your mistakes, take responsibility for them, and learn from them. Analyze and reflect. Ask yourself, what went wrong? What could I have done differently? What can I learn from this experience? Seek feedback. Don't be afraid to ask for feedback from others. They might offer valuable insights that you hadn't considered. Experiment and iterate. Don't let the fear of failure hold you back from trying new things. Embrace the process of experimentation and iteration. Celebrate your progress. Acknowledge your growth and celebrate your successes, no matter how small. This will help you stay motivated and keep moving forward. The resilience factor. Learning from mistakes is not just about becoming a better problem solver or a more skilled individual. It's also about developing resilience, the ability to bounce back from setbacks and keep moving forward. In today's fast-paced and ever-changing world, resilience is more important than ever. We're constantly facing new challenges, unexpected obstacles, and the occasional curveball. But by embracing a growth mindset and learning from our mistakes, we can develop the inner strength to navigate these challenges with grace and determination. The Stoic advantage. The Stoic approach to mistakes offers a powerful antidote to the fear of failure that can hold us back from reaching our full potential. It encourages us to embrace challenges, to step outside our comfort zones, and to see every experience, even the difficult ones, as an opportunity for growth. So, the next time you make a mistake, don't beat yourself up about it. Take a deep breath, analyze what happened, and extract the valuable lessons. Remember, every stumble is a chance to learn, to grow, and to become a stronger, wiser, and more resilient version of yourself. Lesson 10. The Serenity Prayer, Stoic style, focusing on what you can control. All right, folks, let's wrap up this Stoic wisdom session with a principle that's all about finding peace in a chaotic world, focusing on what you can control. Now, if you've ever heard the Serenity Prayer, you'll recognize the echoes of Stoic philosophy in it. It goes something like this: God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, courage to change the things I can, and wisdom to know the difference. The Stoics were all about this idea of distinguishing between what's within our power and what's not. They believed that by focusing our energy on the things we can influence and accepting the things we can't, we can achieve a state of inner peace and tranquility. The circle of control. Imagine a circle. Inside that circle are the things you have direct control over. Your thoughts, your actions, your choices. Outside the circle are the things you can't control. The weather, the economy, the opinions of others. The Stoics taught us to focus our energy on the things inside the circle and to let go of the things outside of it. Now, this doesn't mean being passive or apathetic. It doesn't mean giving up on trying to make a difference in the world. It simply means recognizing that there are some things beyond our control and that obsessing over them is a recipe for frustration and anxiety. The inner game. The Stoics were masters of the inner game. They understood that true freedom lies in mastering our own minds and emotions, rather than trying to control the external world. Epictetus put it this way: some things are in our control and others not. Things in our control are opinion, pursuit, desire, aversion, and, in a word, whatever are our own actions. Things not in our control are body, property, reputation, command, and, in one word, whatever are not our own actions. This is a powerful distinction. It reminds us that we have the power to choose our thoughts, our attitudes, and our responses to the world around us. We can't control what happens to us, but we can control how we interpret those events and how we choose to move forward. Modern-day worries. In today's world, it's easy to get caught up in a whirlwind of worry. We stress about our jobs, our relationships, our health, the state of the world. And while it's natural to have concerns, the Stoics would caution us against letting those worries consume us. Think about how much mental and emotional energy we expend on things we can't control. We fret about the traffic, the news headlines, the latest social media drama. But all this worry does is drain our energy and distract us from the things we can actually influence. Practical tips for letting go. So, how can we apply this Stoic wisdom in our modern lives? How can we learn to let go of the things we can't control and focus on what we can? Here are a few practical tips. Identify your circle of control. Make a list of the things you can control and the things you can't. This will help you become more aware of where you're focusing your energy. Practice acceptance. When faced with a situation you can't change, acknowledge it and accept it. Don't waste time fighting against reality. Focus on your response. Instead of dwelling on what's happening to you, focus on how you're going to respond. What actions can you take to improve the situation or make the best of it? Cultivate gratitude. Focus on the good things in your life, even in the midst of challenges. Gratitude can shift your perspective and help you find peace, even in difficult times. Live in the present moment. Don't get caught up in regrets about the past or anxieties about the future. Focus on what you can do right now, in this moment. The Stoic serenity. Mastering the art of focusing on what you can control is not about becoming indifferent or detached. It's about finding a sense of inner peace and serenity that allows you to navigate life's challenges with wisdom and grace. As the modern Stoic philosopher Massimo Pigliucci puts it, the Stoic goal is not to eliminate emotions, but to educate them so that they are in line with reason and virtue. So let's embrace the Stoic philosophy of focusing on what we can control. Let's let go of the worries that weigh us down and focus on the actions we can take to create a more fulfilling and meaningful life. Because in the end, true freedom lies not in controlling the external world, but in mastering our own inner world. All right, folks, we've reached the end of our Stoic journey for today. We've explored some powerful principles that can help us navigate life's challenges with grace, resilience, and inner peace. Remember, it's not about being emotionless or suppressing your feelings. It's about recognizing that you have the power to choose how you respond to the world around you. It's about cultivating that inner strength, that stoic citadel that allows you to remain calm and collected even when the world around you is in chaos. So, as you go about your day, try to keep these stoic principles in mind. Practice mindfulness, reframe your perspective, choose your response wisely, and focus on what you can control. And most importantly, remember that you are the master of your fate. You have the power to create a life filled with meaning, purpose, and joy. If you enjoyed this episode, please hit that like button and share it with your friends and family. And don't forget to subscribe to our podcast for more Stoic wisdom and practical tips for living a good life. Until next time, stay strong, stay resilient, and keep on practicing the art of living.